course, many of us are familiar with Melinda as the name that comes after Bill. Bill and Melinda Gates, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. But who is Melinda Gates? The philanthropist, computer scientist, and humanitarian. How will she define herself outside of her long-term powerful relationship? To find the answers to those questions, we must go all the way back to the beginning. This was Melinda Gates' life before she married Bill. The general belief is that you must be born into money to be wealthy throughout your life, and this appears to be how it is done in the world. But Melinda Gates had a fairly ordinary upbringing. Gates was born in Dallas, Texas in August 1964, as noted by biography, and was one of 4 children, with one older sister and 2 younger brothers. Ray French, her father, was an aerospace engineer, and her mother, Elaine French, was a stay-at-home mom. According to a Microsoft commissioned study, by the time girls reach the age of 15, many of them have been discouraged from pursuing science and math, but Melinda Gates was not one of them. According to biography, Gates developed an early interest in computers as a result of math classes she took, and her interest grew over time. We are fortunate that Gates developed such a strong interest in computers at such a young age because, as computer science points out, women make up only 20% of the profession. We all know that Melinda Gates was married to the co-founder of Microsoft, one of the world's largest technology companies, but her love affair with computers began with a competitor. According to the Seattle Times, Gates' first encounter with a computer was with Apple II, which was, of course, manufactured by Macintosh. Her father then bought her an Apple III computer, and the French home became a gathering place for neighbor children to study and work with a computer, according to the Seattle Times. That sounds great to us, especially since everyone nowadays is looking down at their phones. Melinda Gates is a very private individual. So much of her life has to be pieced together from rare interviews, her memoir, commencement speeches, and tidbits she shares on social media. She was rather forthright, and for a woman worth $70 billion, she revealed that she understands what it's like to have to work for what you have. Remember when you worked as an intern in college and you were the one who got the coffee and loaded the paper into the copier? What if we told you that Melinda Gates, one of the world's most powerful people, was once an intern? Yes, she did, and it has given us hope for everyone else who began at the bottom of the work food chain. According to The Independent, after Gates graduated from Duke University, she was hired as an intern for IBM in 1986, when IBM was developing personal computers that could be transported elsewhere for the first time. The company was also the first to introduce floppy disk to the world. Gates was in the process of looking for a job after graduating from college, and she reportedly told a recruiter that she only had one more interview scheduled with a relatively new company called Microsoft. If they make you an offer, take it, the recruiter advised her. There's a lot of room for advancement there. The rest, as they say, is history. Bill and Melinda Gates are well known for their discretion, particularly in the press. They rarely speak to journalists and have instructed former neighbors and associates not to speak about them to the media. It's all very private, but, as the Seattle Times points out, Melinda has always been a private person. Melinda moved to Lashy, Seattle after graduating from college. The house itself was just as remote as Melinda, with the outlet noting that you had to climb a steep flight of steps to get to the property, which was surrounded by trees. The property was reputed to have a beautiful view of Lake Washington, but only Melinda knew for sure. Neighbors claimed she was rarely home and stayed to herself, the Seattle Times reported. However, she was always friendly and said hello as she went in and out of her car. I don't think she had much companionship aside from her mother, former neighbor Russell Lanning said. Why the increased privacy? Who knows? But Melinda may have anticipated that many people would desire access to her life one day. Of course, when Melinda Gates started working at Microsoft, she finally met Bill Gates, and the rest is history. According to CNBC, Melinda served as a general manager at Microsoft, where she worked on a variety of projects that helped the business get off the ground. So, how did she meet her rich co-founder? Of all locations, a Microsoft employee dinner. It took him a long time before he asked me out, Melinda said of their early dating experiences. Unfortunately, the couple revealed their desire to split on Twitter years later in May 2021. We wish them both the best in the future. And with that being said, it's time to end our video. What's your take on Bill and Melinda's relationship? Let us know in the comments. Like this video and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos like this. We'll see you in the next video.